And welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. It's another beautiful Friday. It's the end of the week, so a lot of things to review here as the market is selling off a bit for the weekly closure. And I want to just tighten up my screen here, trying a few things out here to make it just perfect so that it's easy to view on your mobile devices. So bear with me just a second as I line everything up. And that should do it for now. That should do it. So what do we have here? First things first, let's check out what's going on with Bitcoin. Actually, we're going to cover Bitcoin's price action in the short term, the long term. We'll cover the weekly CME close, and we're going to take a look at some of the crypto news. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about. First news article in the LA Times today: Californians can soon use cryptocurrencies to donate to state and local candidates. Hopefully nobody is giving any money to Mr. Old, gosh, who's the LA governor that everybody hates? Anybody, no politicians in California deserve any money as far as I'm concerned at the moment. Now, it says Sacramento candidates for state and local offices in California will soon be able to accept cryptocurrency campaign donations. The Fair Political Practices Commission voted Thursday to approve new rules allowing donations of digital currencies such as Bitcoin. The rules say candidates can accept cryptocurrency donations if they immediately convert the digital currency into US dollars. Candidates must use a registered cryptocurrency processor to handle the transaction that will collect the name, address, occupation, and employer for each contributor. Wow. Wow. I wonder if cryptocurrency is going to stay around, guys. All right. Next article up here. Prince Philip of Serbia claims rumors of Arab country Bitcoin adoption. Yes, he's talking about the good old Muslim countries and Sharia law wanting to accept Bitcoin. So in an interview with Cointelegraph, the hereditary prince announced his views on Bitcoin adoption in the Middle East and shed light on Bitcoin in Serbia. Here's what he said, quote, "It's definitely going to happen, but I don't know which country or who is going to do it, where or anything like that, but it's bound to happen. Every country will eventually adopt Bitcoin." Here's what I thought was the most interesting fact from the article. It says the prince shared that Bitcoin is an excellent fit for Muslim countries because, quote, "it makes perfect Sharia money. Islamic law known as Sharia is based on the Quran teachings and dictates whether something is permissible, halal, or illegal, haram. In the case of money, Philip would argue that Bitcoin is in fact halal and a perfect form of Islamic finance. Quote, "It's only a matter of time before a Muslim country that follows Sharia law would have to adopt it." Some people grab that and make it as a selling item, saying that, of course, if a prince knows it, that in some Arab or Muslim country is going to adopt Bitcoin soon, then it's going to happen. So Prince Philip is technically the Prince of Serbia and Yugoslavia because when the monarchy was abolished, Serbia as a country had not been created. But today, obviously, Yugoslavia doesn't exist. And since we are Serbian origin, then it's of Serbia, Philip clarified. Nowadays, Serbia is a parliamentary republic, although some Serbs support the creation of parliamentary monarchy similar to the United Kingdom. So anyways, Philip burst onto the Bitcoin scene in March this year where he appeared on a chat show. He explained the difference between Bitcoin and crypto, adding that, quote, "Bitcoin is freedom, and this is something that I want for everyone." Wow. So even an Arab prince is buying into Bitcoin, calling it freedom. We all know it is. Good for you, Mr. Prince Philip. All right, let's get into Bitcoin price action. Getting a little bit of a sell-off here off the top, and we did talk about this yesterday. stating that basically, here's what you want to do in trading, right? You never want to buy the high. You never want to buy the high. You want to buy the higher low. So you sell the higher high, buy the higher low. Sell the higher high, buy the higher low. And in this case, if this is, sell the lower high would be what you would do. You don't buy the higher high. So could this be a lower high in the making? Yes, indeed, it could. How would we confirm this? Well, we need a 4-hour closure back below 22,836, and that would do it for me. And I'd look for a move down to this green 55. What you'll also notice here, this is the infamous golden cross, which just happened. And if price action does get sucked into the cross somewhere around 22,180, I would look at that as a major buying opportunity with an easy way to manage risk right here below the prior wicks, coming in at 21,300. So depending upon how much leverage you're using, that could be a really easy trade setup. These golden crosses on the 4-hour, I mean, you can see what the death cross just did. The death cross started way back here. The last death cross, that is, would be when the green 55 crosses the purple 200. And you can see when price action does get sucked into the cross here, it was pretty close. And then you get the retest. So, sell the breakout, buy the retest, vice versa. That's what makes sense typically. So we did just get a 4-hour closure. And we will cross down below 23,188. We are still a ways away from that. And I'm willing to bet this is getting stopped out right at the 618. So that is typically a good sell region. And we did slightly get above it. We got up to the 786. So would I expect to move back down to the 236? Yes. And hopefully we can make a higher low right there and maintain this nice little trend line here, which I will try and draw it out the best that I can here. But you see a nice little trend line coming in from right here. Let's see how far back does this thing go. Can we get the trend line in all the way through here? Nope. Nope, it doesn't go back that far, but it does go back to this point right here. Almost. Close enough is close enough. So something like that. No, I don't really like that either. This trend line is a bit sloppy. And so what am I going to do here? I'm actually going to move on to actually a live trade here pretty soon. Let me just move this over slightly. So we get a little bigger screen here. And essentially what I am looking for, let's see. So the 4-hour, we just crossed down. We got low volatility. RSI is right in the middle. I mean, price action's really sloppy here. Not looking good. Let's see if we can look at stocks to get any other ideas. On the daily time frame. Really, daily needs to get somewhere above, call it 12,900 for us to even be looking at any kind of a short-term reversal here. We are getting some higher lows coming in right here, and I would say if this trend line does want to break, we are going to get a decent downside move. Do we have any divergences going on here from this point right here? Yep, that was several drives of bullish divergence. Price is making lower lows. RSI is making higher lows. On the other side, what do we have here? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. If we confirm this as a local high right here, I would expect a shot back into the bottom side of the range. And that would likely push Bitcoin down. but that will not be closing here, and I wouldn't call this a local high until we get a daily closure back below. Yeah, call it 12,200. 12,250 will cross the Stokes down. We are rejecting the bullish control zone. Usually the first test back in there is a sell. So we come back down, base around the 9 or even the 21, something like that. Typically around the green 55, and then we pick it back up coming into next week. So this week we'll be closing in 5 hours. How does the weekly look? That's looking okay. Volatility is low. We're crossing up from a low level, and we have a few drives, bullish divergence playing out. So could this rally get all the way up to the breakdown level, somewhere around 13,236? Yeah, I think that is the case. But anything below 14,800 is just another lower high on the weekly time frame, and I would look at this as a tremendous selling opportunity. Sell that lower high. Sell that lower high. Don't take this as financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, so same thing on Bitcoin, the same kind of idea here on Bitcoin. We probably get a bounce up to, somewhere around, I don't even think it gets that high, but it could go as high as the yellow 21. And that's coming in at $30,000. And that's coming in at $30,000. So what do we have on the 2-day that might give us a little bit more confluence? The green 55 is coming in at 27.7. Volatility is up. And somebody does, I get a lot of prank calls, Lots of them. They just keep calling back. Prank calls. I think this is a more reasonable target, and this is the target we spoke about off this descending triangle. Off this descending triangle right here. And it really wasn't much of a descending triangle. It's more like a range play here. More like a range play. Next thing up here, this ascending or descending triangle is, we were talking about it like this. Saying, hey, look, what is the measure move off of this descending triangle? And this would look something like this. And did we get the move yet? Are we done with the move is the question. And no, I would say we get a little bit more to go. At least 25,000. And I do believe that could extend up a little bit higher. Let's see what it looks on the daily time frame. If we kind of move that down slightly, maybe that's the 50%. So we get a target up here. And as long as we don't break back below, we'll call it 21,000. We'll have several drives of bearish divergence if we do close, and that's going to be coming back from this point. No, not really. We'll only have one drive. So if we confirm this as a local high, I would expect some kind of a test along this trend line, and then we pick it back up and give it one more try towards the end of the month, and then G2 numbers come out. How many days are left on this month? 9 days and 8 hours. So about one more week, and then we'll be running into August 1st. We'll get the bare moons lining up, and it should be down to doggy town. I could be wrong, though. Look at that. That's Ethereum looking strong here at 1578. Let's take a look on the shorter term time frames. I've been having some fun trading this one, and we will cross down below 1597 on the next 4-hour closure. Stocks are down 180, so 1.5%. Bitcoin's down almost 1%. Ethereum is up 0.22%. So a bit of a retest on this consolidation right here. So we got the breakout Again, sell the breakout, buy the retest. And here's where the trend line is coming in. And I think it's a little more clear on this guy. But the trend line's coming in right here. So I would expect a test, another test of this guy. And then if we do want to break this trend line, any kind of a 4-hour closure below 1540, I'd be looking for a quick move down to 1430 and then probably 1340 over time. Any kind of a 4-hour closure basically below 1600, momentum will cross to the downside. We're getting kicked out of the bullish control zone. And we'd need to see some kind of a higher low put in right here or somewhere higher than this low, and we'd maintain the uptrend of higher highs and higher lows. And that would look good for some more continuation if we can get back in the bullish control zone. But it looks like off of this consolidation, we've just hit the top side of the range. Not quite yet. Could it go a little higher, about 1700, maybe even 1750. We are above the 618, I believe. Yep, so basing off the 618. So bull traps happen here. We cleared that. As long as we're holding, call it 1370. I'm looking for this one to continue onwards and upwards and probably all the way up to 1900. However, if we do cool off here, I wouldn't be surprised. We're getting a bit of a rejection off of the 786. And where do these like to play within each other? Typically, they like to, if we're going to play in that zone, right, we're going to come up there. We're going to go back to the 382 and up to the 618 and the 236 and something like that could definitely happen. Let's take a look at Ethereum on the weekly chart. Ethereum has been leading this market. Definitely been leading the market here. So Ethereum looks like we are going to come down and test that 21 at a minimum. That'll look nice for a little test of the 21 on the weekly time frame. We are crossing up from a very low level, and that could easily give us a run up to the 21, kind of the breakdown region, somewhere between 1988 and about 1800, something like that. And as long as we're hanging out below the green 55, I mean, it's just another lower high, and that means lower lows. And I would expect this target to get hit at some point around 480 alongside Bitcoin coming down as well. So again, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you guys what I'm looking at in the short term and in the long term. So short term up, long term down. Another thing to take a look at is Dixie and Mr. Dollar did come up and hit this 109 target, and I would expect we are heading down to about 105.21. The dollar will close today in 6 hours and 46 minutes. Stokes are crossing down from a very high level. And do we have any bullish divergence? Not really. We had a one drive there. So if we want to come up here and tag the 21, put in another higher low, perhaps to create that second drive of bullish divergence, that could give us the momentum we need. And that would be the test of this kind of breakdown, or these wicks right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if the dollar does come down a bit more and Bitcoin and Ethereum bounce a little bit more to the upside. That's it for today, guys. Hope you guys have a blessed and highly favored day. Take care.